YouTube and welcome back to January, the only month where you can say, Deborah, why call it January if you're not going to put the word January in the video titles? The answer to which is it's the algorithm. I must feed the algorithm. To that end, last year, about a year ago, I made a video in which I announced that I had completed my Doctor Who DVD collection, at least the fundamental basic collection. I now had every story that had a DVD release, I now had on DVD. And, I didn't, this spin-off stuff that I didn't have, some of the variant editions of stories I didn't have, but every story I had at least one copy of the main show. And that video went down very well. Not only was it my most viewed video of last year, it was my most viewed video for quite a long time, so I thought people seem to be interested in this. So that's why I thought today I'll make an update video, because in the last year or so I have gotten some more DVDs. My collection is now bigger, but somehow less complete. So let's pop downstairs and have a little look. So this past year, I think I've gotten fewer new Doctor Who DVDs than in any other year since I've been collecting them. Partly because this time last year, I had all available Doctor Who series on DVD. So there's not been a lot new ones to get, and I've not actually gotten all the new ones that have been released. So it's a fairly minor change, but I'll still run you through the general overview, and I'll point out in particular the new things that are of interest to look at. Here we're starting off with Genesis Corner. I've got the Davros VHS collection set. I've got the Sontaran Experiment and Genesis of the Daleks. I've got many different DVD versions of Genesis, and I've got another copy of the same VHS set in slightly better condition. 2 CDs, 1 cassette tape, and now 1 vinyl record. And peppered around here we can see a couple of my Dalek models that I don't have room for up in my bedroom. We did have a look at quite a lot of these Daleks last week. We didn't see these ones, we didn't see these. This is my first ever Dalek toy I ever had, so this is quite nice. But yeah, so let's have a look over here. We've got things that I have more than one copy of, like the original edition of Enemy of the World, and Inferno, and Claws of Axos, and Green Death, all of Series 1 in the original volumes, and 2 volumes of Series 2, plus the War Games on VHS, plus the standard edition of Power of the Daleks, the slipcase for the special edition of Power of the Daleks. It's not got that in it though, it's just to have the slipcase on display. Same with the Macro Terror, Faceless Ones, Fury slipcases. That's where I keep my slipcases so that they don't interrupt the sort of neat order of things. Then we've got the spin-offs and other media and this garbage. Have I made a video? I think I must have brought up the Lost interviews. I'll need to make a video, but I mean, well, maybe I don't need to make a video about the Lost interviews. No one wants to think about the Lost interviews. It's terrible. So yeah, so it's pretty much as standard. We've got all available Hartnell stories. 10th Planet is on this bit. There's only room for, I guess, 18 of these, because there's 19 Hartnell DVDs. And the Aztecs, I have the special edition. I don't have the original edition, so that's a thing with a lot of these DVDs. Aside from the ones we see up here, if there's an original edition up here, then I have the original edition. Otherwise, I've just got the special edition. I have all special editions, so anything that's had a special edition, I've got it. At time of recording, this is January 2021. I think we're getting a Web of Fear special edition sometime this year, I've heard. Then we've got Patrick Troughton, we've got the special edition of Power of the Daleks now. We've got Underwater Menace. Hopefully that'll get a special edition at some point. So we've got Faceless Ones, which I got for my birthday last year. I didn't get around to watching it until November. And I loved it. I think it's my favourite animated release so far. A lot of people like Macro Terror best, and it's great, but I don't know, there's something about the Faceless Ones I really enjoyed. Enemy of the World special edition I think I had by this time last year. I think I got it the Christmas before. So Fury from the Deep's the other new one, and I've not watched it yet. In fact, actually I've not watched special edition of Power yet either. Well, I've seen the original one, so they're quite similar. I've seen a comparison. Obviously there's a few slight differences, but Fury from the Deep, I've not watched that yet, so hopefully it's good. I'm not sure if I like the different animation style yet, but I'm sure it'll grow on me. But that's really all the new stuff that I've got, I think, since last year. Worth pointing out other things. Inferno special edition, I got years ago, one of my Christmas specials. I don't remember which one, 2017, 2016, it's been a while. I didn't get around to watching the special edition. until November, just been for the Doctor Who Anniversary Day. I got it. I just watched, it was like a couple of weeks earlier, I'd watched the original edition on a rewatch, so I didn't have any reason to go back and watch this, and I finally did. And the difference between this and the original edition is night and day. It's really, really good. The picture quality is so sharp. I mean, it's still not like an original master tape, 2-inch quad tape. We have the original copy. It's still slightly fuzzy, slightly not first generation, but it looks, I don't think it could have looked better than that. It looked really, really good. Similarly, Claws of Axos Special Edition, which had the same restoration for the 2 episodes that we don't have the original tapes for. I've not actually seen it since I got the Special Edition. I've not gotten around to watching it, so I need to get that done at some point. If you don't know the story behind these, the original DVD releases had for all of Inferno and for 2 episodes of Claws of Axos, we didn't have the original tapes, so they gave us an NTSC to PAL conversion, and they invented this whole new thing, because it being converted one way from UK PAL to American NTSC, and if you just converted it the way you convert an American program, it would be converted twice and the picture's awful. So they did a thing where it can be reverse converted and it looks better. But it's still kind of fuzzy. It's a problem that is relevant for stories like Terror of the Autons and quite a few other. I'm just trying to think. Is there any other ones? Some of the Sea Devils, I think, the mutants, bits of it. Some of the Time Monster. But what they're able to do now is take the colour signal from that and overlay it onto a black and white film print, which is much higher definition. Similarly to how they did the Silurians, except it was an off-air recording, so it was even worse quality colour. But you overlay the two together and you get a sharp black and white image. The fuzzy colour combines to make a sharp black and white image. It's very clever. It's worth finding out more information than just me rambling in a room with some DVDs. So yeah, all of Tom Baker we've got, including Shada, which I made a big video about ages ago. Yeah, the only other thing I think's worth bringing up is that during the Doctor Who watch-throughs that we had the other day, last year. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? So yeah, we did New Earth and Gridlock double feature, and I found out that the disc 1 on this has a fault. It's not scratched. It's the first time I'd had it out since I got all of these years ago, and most of them I hadn't watched since then, because I think, again, I just finished watching through them when I got the DVDs. And yeah, there's a fault on the disc. It won't, it stops about halfway through the episode. It was, so I now need to get myself either a replacement copy of that disc, or I might just get the volume 1 of that and just play that when I want to watch the episode. But it's annoying. I won't lie, it's kind of annoying. So the only thing that's currently missing from this DVD collection, the only story that's available that I don't have is series 12. But, I'll get it at some point. I did ask on Twitter, once I'd finished collecting all the Doctor Who DVDs, what did people think I should try and collect. Obviously, Doctor Who spin-offs I've not quite finished yet. But one of the suggestions was Blake 7, which I have actually started getting into now. I've got the first 2 series of Blake 7. I'm nearly finished series 1. I got them in I don't know, in this summer. I'm quite slow at getting around to doing things, considering we've been in lockdown for most of that time. But yeah, I've watched most of series 1, and that's quite exciting. But yeah, until last year, when I completed my Doctor Who DVD collection, at that point having every story available, until then, there were lots of stories I didn't have, so I could get lots and lots and lots every year, and it was impossible for me to get enough I'd complete the collection. Now there's only a few releases for me to keep track of, and for me to follow along with, and yet I still haven't managed to get every DVD release from last year. It's the fewest I've ever got. It's not like I'm getting the Blu-ray collection, because I don't have a Blu-ray player. So it's not like I've been getting those instead. So you might wonder why I've gotten so few Doctor Who DVDs last year. And there is a reason. I've been spending my money on other things, also Doctor Who related. So why don't we pop upstairs and take a look at that? So a lot of you might have noticed, particularly since I moved into this corner, that I collect these 5-inch Character Options Doctor Who figures. And I've been collecting these for a really long time now. They started releasing them properly as a sort of figure range in 2006. And I got my first figure in the summer of 2006. And I've been getting them ever since, regularly. I've got quite a lot of them. At last count, I have, I think, 232 figures, not including duplicates. And last year in particular, I didn't have anything else really to spend money on, so I really stepped up my collecting game, and I got a lot of figures. In fact, from January the 1st to December the 31st, I bought myself 69 Doctor Who figures. And yeah, I'll give you a little pause here so the immature members of the audience can say nice. Okay, are we done? Let's move on from that. I also got 4 figures gifted to me by Al Duar, which was unexpected but quite nice. So yeah, 73 new figures in the course of the year, which is, I mean, 73 out of 238. That's like about a quarter, slightly over a quarter of the, quite a bit more than a quarter, it's nearly a third of the figures were bought last year. So I really stepped it up. I got a lot of figures. My collection's pretty big. And I thought you might be interested in having a look at these figures because last year, once I reckon I'd gotten all my new figures for the year, I took photos of my whole collection for a forum that I'm on and I put them all up there. And so I thought, well, maybe you'd like to see them too. So here is a little presentation of my Doctor Who figure collection to music. I'll see you again in a few minutes once you've had a look at those. I will point out that this Jon Pertwee figure, although I bought him on Christmas Eve, I didn't get him until about a week ago. So I didn't have him when I took all those photographs. So I just took a picture of him over there and just sort of stuck that in. So if that seemed a little incongruous, I couldn't work out how to what to photograph him with to fit him into the collection. So that's why he looks a bit off in those photos. He's really nice. I think he's one of my favourite Pertwee. He looks a bit green on camera, but he's blue. Also not featured in those photographs is my one and only Dapol figure of Jon Pertwee, who I got last year for my birthday. You might remember. So he's featured in that video, but That's him. I think he's really nice. I like him a lot. So he's that's my only Dapple figure I've got from the Dapple range. Also not featured is my big, how tall is that? 10-inch, 12-inch Jodie doll. These two are different ranges. They're not from the same range, so they're not in the photos. But maybe they should have been, because yeah, I think she's really nice. I think that's a really nice figure. I like the fabric clothes. I think that's nice. So yeah, that is my Doctor Who figure collection. I hope you enjoyed that. It was also my DVD collection. It's my collection. I have other things in my collection. I've got books and annuals and storybooks, but maybe that's something for another day. Speaking of storybooks, join me next week where I will be reading a story from a book. Don't miss that. Until then though, thank you for watching and have a Who day. It does occur to me now, far too late, that the photos don't include any pictures of the weird other people's customs that I've acquired over the years. Like Sassy Green Tennant is nowhere to be seen, so sorry about that, but here he is. Oh, I'm Sassy Green Tennant. Oh, hi ho, yeah. That's my impression of Sassy. Not necessarily regular Tennant, but Sassy Green Tennant. He sounds exactly like that. Bye.